get a lot of questions about whether or not the wood that you have on hand is the right moisture content to use for making biochar or for using the biochar kilns. So the range that we're typically looking for the very first load is under 25% moisture content. Closer to 20 is a bit better. You're going to get it going super easily with about 15 or less. But how do you take that measurement? Well, I wanted to show you a couple different ways to take those measurements and some things to watch out for to make sure you're getting the measurement correct. So first thing is to get a moisture meter. These are, about 30 bucks. I got this particular one at Lowe's, and they typically have more than one setting. This one has a mode button. It switches between wood and building. I'm going to keep it on wood. Something else to look for when you're trying to find a moisture meter is how thick are these prongs. These prongs are going to go in and they're going to check the conductivity, because water can conduct. And the thicker, the better, because I've had ones with pretty thin prongs and they just start bending off because you're going to be hard on these in the field. So we're looking for that about 20, maybe 25% moisture content. All right, well, how do we do that? Let me tell you about this piece of wood. This is been just cut off of a piece of off of a log that has been down for about a year. We had a wildfire coming through here, and a bunch of trees were taken down to help prevent the spread of that fire. This is one of those trees. And so it's been down for about a year, but the cuts on either side are fresh. And this is important, and you'll see why. Okay, first, let's go off the bottom here and see what we got. Okay, this says 15, 16. I'm just going to jab it again. And I'm going to jab on the other side just for good measure. Yeah, 17, 18, well under 20%. So feeling pretty good about this piece. Now you'll notice what I did is I jabbed it in on this fresh cut on the inside. I did not jab it out here, and let me show you why. I'm going to jab it on the outside now, and it is reading 53, 54. Well, that's a lot more than 17. And one of the questions people have is, well, why is that going on? Well, trees are awesome, and how they work is that while we have all of our veins on the inside, trees kind of have theirs all around the outside, and they transport water, nutrients, all of this stuff all around the outside. And so that part knows how to conduct really well. And so if you take a moisture reading just on the outside, it's not going to be accurate. But there's a trick you can do if you've got a long piece and you want to check it. You can take a knife, and I've already done it here, and you can cut off some of the bark and get down in there into the wood. Now, let me just show you what that reading is. So this reading here, 26. Okay, no, it's not 17, it's not 18, but it's not 50 either. So once you do this more and more, you'll start to get a feel for it. But what this does is allow you to take a reading in a spot without having to cut things down too much. Or the other case, perhaps you've got some pieces that were already cut to length, and you don't necessarily want to cut them down anymore. Well, that might be a reason to take a reading this way. Is it perfect? No, but it is a lot closer to that end cut than it is to a measurement taken through the cambium. So that's a little trick for measuring your moisture content. Again, you're shooting for, around 20% is great. 25 is okay too. Some tricks on your moisture meter and some things to look for, and another wonderful use for a knife.